Welcome back to the EJ Ward Fuel View training series. In this video, we're going to go over how to add pump totalizers. Now there's two ways to add a pump totalizer reading, and a pump totalizer is basically like an odometer for your pump. It just shows how much fuel has flowed through that pump since it's been installed. And we can change those either through the pump record themselves, or we can do it through a page under fuel management and go into pump totalizers. So it's going to show us all the pump totalizer readings that we've done, and we can go ahead and click on Add Record to add our own. From here, we're going to drop down the pump, and we're going to select the pump that we have. So let's go ahead and drop down and do a pump 1 for our test department. It's going to give us what the previous totalizer reading was, and how many units have been pumped since that totalizer reading. So, for instance, if I had this set at 10, like I do here, and if I had units pumped, let's say I have 1,000 units pumped, then my new totalizer should be 1,010. It doesn't necessarily mean if we didn't get a transaction for there, or we've pumped some other stuff outside of the system, something like that, then it might be a little different, but this should be right on the money most of the time, because it takes all the transactions and how many units have been pumped from those pumps, adds them together, and just keeps incrementing this number until we do another pump totalizer reading. So I'm going to give the date and time of today. And then I'm going to have the new totalizer reading be 1,010. Once I save this, and we can go ahead and go into that pump record by going into site management, and then we can go to pumps. Now we can look up our test department here. So then we can go into pump number 1 on the terminal that we want, which I know it's the diesel tank. So then we can also see our totalizer reading here. This is the second place that we can do the totalizer reading. So if we wanted to change it here, let's say we can do 1,100 this time. And then we can go ahead and click on Save. You'll also notice that the units pumped since last totalizer reading is 0 still. And then any transactions that come through are going to increment that number. So when I click on Save here, it's going to have my new totalizer reading. So if I were to come into the pump record itself, change that totalizer reading, it's going to zero out the units pumped since last totalizer reading. And I can do it each pump at a time. But let's say I do a totalizer reading across an entire site. I think it's a lot easier that if we just do it from the pump totalizers page, because you can just keep adding them instead of going to those pump records. But it's really up to you, and it's your preference. And that concludes the video on how to add a pump totalizer reading into the FuelView system. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.